If you've ever been told we do not cry, wipe your tears, or don't be a crybaby, then this video is for you. For those who don't know me, I'm Imani Adia, and I help high achievers to rewire their mind so that they can lead with greater clarity and confidence. This video today was really inspired by two videos that I saw on social media back to back. And it is something that I've spoken about, but this video is going to go completely in depth about the whole idea of not being able to cry and what that does to your well-being and the way that you are able to lead and truly show up. And so I'm going to play you the two clips that I saw back to back that really inspired this video and truly wanting to have a conversation about what it is that we are carrying, especially the beliefs that we are carrying.
Me up real tight and said real sternly in my ear, "Stop crying. You know your dad wouldn't even want you crying like that." And it hit me then. I'm like, well, damn, he's dead. So I couldn't cry if I got hurt, physically. I couldn't cry for this. This is the most painful thing I've ever experienced. And I can't even cry now.
We grew up in a different time from you, Quad. We did, and we were taught to be strong, and that wasn't something that we did, was cry. You know, my mama would say, "Don't cry. I give you something to cry about. Don't you cry."
So before we even move forward, I want to say thank you to those two ladies for just sharing their stories and sharing their experience, specifically online, because what it does for other people is that it lets them know that they are not alone in what they are experiencing. And so as we talk about we do not cry and that whole entire belief, I have to say, right, that we have to acknowledge the purpose behind that belief and how it was created during a time to protect and also allow people to survive in a period where their existence was a threat, that them just being who they are was a threat. And so during this time, this belief was put into place of you are strong if you do not cry, so that you can literally survive another day. And so I recognize that as someone who has done work around this belief in my own personal journey, as well as with others. And so looking at the history and where we do not cry came from, looking at you are strong if you do not cry and the reason why it was there, I believe that as we gain more knowledge, it is an opportunity for us to look back and truly ask ourselves if what we are thinking and believing and carrying serving us right now in this particular moment. And when I finally broke down that belief, which has been passed down right intergenerationally, generation from generation, of this is what you have to do if you want to survive. And so as I looked at that belief, it was something that went against my own nature. I am the crybaby of my family. Something that used to haunt me, I would try so very hard not to cry, and tears would still be coming out of my eyes as people would tell me, we don't cry, stop crying, people crying, and my mirror neurons really do a number because all of a sudden I am crying, and the empathy that I can hold for other people is truly real. When you are someone who cares deeply for others, when you are someone who is in touch with their emotional side, it can be so difficult to have to turn that off or to be taught to turn that off. And what I learned through my own personal experience is that that's very constricting. Single time that I was trying not to cry, my throat would constrict, and I literally felt like there was a lump within it. And so I no longer allow myself to hold on to whatever it is that I may be carrying. I simply allow myself to release it, because that's what crying is. It's release of an emotion that you are carrying. And that emotion doesn't have to be negative. I actually don't believe in negative emotions. I believe that we do have heavy emotions. Those are emotions that over time, if you don't release them, they will weigh you down and they will keep you down. They get heavy over time. And then we have those light emotions, but those heavy emotions like anger, sadness, hurt, they are like any other emotion. They are meant to be felt, not carried. And so, keeping that in mind, and what I now know, I allow myself to release whatever that emotion is that I am carrying. That emotion can be joy, literally tears of joy. I allow it to release. And what you will find about joy and what you will find about laughter is that it's meant to be felt, and it is meant to be felt in the highest, right? I think of a firecracker, and when you let that firecracker loose, it goes pow, 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 and all of the lights happen, and people are in awe, and it makes people feel good. I want you to think about when someone is laughing. Have you ever seen those videos where someone is literally laughing and the person besides them starts laughing? Not because they know exactly what it is that they're laughing at, but because the laugh is contagious. Joy, laughter, love, it is something that is contagious, and it is something to be shared with other people, and to allow yourself to share that with other people. And so many times where people have literally have tears of joy, and they're trying to hurry up and wipe their face and not let people see it. But let me see your joy. Let me see your gratitude for the moment that you are in, right? As well as it is okay for you to release the anger and the frustration and the sadness that you may be feeling, and allowing yourself to release it and to let it go. Because if not, it's going to get heavy when you are carrying it. What We Do Not Cry does, right? It makes you suppress your emotions. And so I am here to tell you to release them and allow yourself to feel it, and you will feel so much better. And it's something that you have to put in practice, right? Literally last week, I was frustrated, and I could feel the tears welling up behind my eyes. And honestly, I did not want to cry. It was just one of those things like, really, right now, like, I don't want to do this right now. And in the back of my head, all I could do was say, crying is a release. And so you need to release something. I let those tears flow. I let the tears flow down my face. I took a couple deep breaths, and I was ready to take on the rest of the day. And the only reason I was able to do that is because the belief that I had allowed me to take the action that I needed to take for my own personal well-being. It allowed me to take the action that I needed to take so that I could show up for family and friends later. Because if not, I would have been carrying that around, and I probably would have had such a nasty attitude that nobody would have wanted to deal with. But because you don't do what you need to do for yourself, you then can't show up in the way that you need to for others. In my experience with crying and being able to release my emotions really came when I started to see that there was research that showed us that when you do not take care of yourself, you will literally weaken your immune system. And Gabriel Mate, he has a book, When the Body Says No, that literally outlines what can happen when you don't speak up for yourself, when you suppress your emotions. And through his research, it's been shown that 80% of autoimmune diseases happen to women. And what these women have in common is that they're very nice, which means that they suppress their anger. They put other people's emotions before themselves. They feel such a strong connection to duty and responsibility, and they feel like they are never to disappoint people. And so there's a lack of boundaries, there's a lack of intentionally setting boundaries, and there's a lack of being honest with yourself about what it is that you have capacity for and what it is that you need. And so if this resonates with you and you are someone who is ready to work through this belief, here are just 3 questions to get you started. Number 1, what is the purpose of this belief? Number 2, when has this belief been false? And number 3, what would happen if you believed that it was okay to cry, and if it was okay to express your emotions? If you've made it this far, that means that you are ready for something more. And so I want to invite you to my Rewire Your Mind for Success masterclass that is happening. You can check out the link below. I hope to see you there as we prepare to have a wonderful new year. Until next time, be limitless.